Good evening, and thank you for joining us today. On behalf of the National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa Incorporated, our National President, Dr. Etta F. Carter, our Eastern Regional Director, Dr. Patsy O. Squire, and our Eastern Regional Literacy Committee, we want to welcome you to our first annual Father's Day event titled Dad Lights the Way with Reading for NSPDK. Our first reader for the evening is Mr. Kenyatta Livingston. The title of the book is Pete the Cat, Pete's Big Lunch. Author and illustrator James Dean. Mr. Livingston is a colleague of Angela Ringgold of Row Chapter, Wilmington, Delaware. Our next reader is Mr. Howard Sharps. The book is titled Moses, When Harriet Tubman Led Her People to Freedom. Author Carol Boston Weatherford. Mr. Sharps is the husband of Lynn Sharps, Row Chapter, Wilmington, Delaware. We hope you enjoy tonight's stories.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another story time with Mr. Livingston and Sky. Today we will be reading Pete the Cat, Pete's Big Lunch. Before we start, we always want to thank Scholastic for allowing us the opportunity to be able to read this book to all of you. Pete the Cat, Pete's Big Lunch. Lunch, here comes Pete. It's lunchtime. Pete is ready to eat. What should Pete eat? A sandwich would be nice. I know I sure could use a sandwich right now. Are you hungry?
Yeah.
What kind of sandwiches do you like?
Cheese and ham.
Yes, Pete wants a sandwich. Pete opens the fridge. He takes out a loaf of bread. He finds a yummy fish. He adds tomato and mayo. Looks like he's going to have a big sandwich. Pete looks at his sandwich. It's too small. Something is missing. Pete knows what it needs. His sandwich needs an apple. Pete loves apples.
Me too.
His sandwich needs crackers. Crackers are crunchy. Pete loves crunchy crackers. Pete looks at his sandwich again. It's still too small.
What do you guys think Pete should do?
Pete is very hungry. Pete adds a pickle. Pete adds cheese. Pete adds an egg, 2 hot dogs, a banana, and a can of beans. Oh, his sandwich is going to be really big now. Something is missing. Pete adds ice cream. He takes 3 huge scoops. Hope his stomach doesn't hurt after this really big sandwich.
Yeah.
I've got it, Pete says. Pete calls all his friends. He asks them to come over. Looks like when all of the kids are logging on to Zoom, Pete's making a Zoom call through his phone to call all his friends. Everyone goes to Pete's house. They are all very hungry.
Like me.
Pete shows them his big lunch. Are you hungry? Asked Pete. Pete's sandwich is big enough for everyone to dig in, says Pete.
Oh my God. It has ice cream.
Well, he's being a good friend and sharing the sandwich with his friends. Pete's sandwich is good. Pete's sandwich is very good.
Some of his sandwich toppings don't look healthy.
But it looks good. Pete's sandwich is all gone. Pete's friends are full. They like Pete's big lunch. Thanks for lunch, Pete friends say. Thanks for sharing. I like it when my friends share with me. What about you?
Yeah, but I can't share it at school.
Not right now because you're not in school. You're welcome, Pete says. Sharing is cool. Well, that was Pete the Cat and Pete's Big Lunch. We hope that you enjoyed it. Please continue to stay safe. Please continue to read a book for at least 20 minutes a day. You can find your favorite book and just sit down and have someone read it to you, or you can read for 20 minutes a day.
And also, I am going to be reading the same book, and he's going to be my guest.
All right. So we hope everyone continues to be safe and have a great day.
I'm Howard Sharps. I'm going to be reading to you a book called Moses, When Harriet Tubman Led Her People to Freedom. This book is by Carl Boston Weatherford. This fictional story is based on spiritual journey of Harriet Tubman. As a slave in Maryland, a free woman in Philadelphia, and a famous conductor of the Underground Railroad. Courageous, passionate, and deeply religious, Tubman saw a vision and spoke to God. She believed the Lord called her to free slaves on the Underground Railroad. Her strong faith not only helped her to escape from slavery, but to lead others to freedom as well. On a summer night, Harriet gazes at the sky and talks with God. I am your child, Lord, yet Master owns me, drives me like a mule. Now he means to sell me south in chains to work cotton, rice, indigo, or sugarcane, never to see my family again. God speaks in a whippoorwill. I set the North Star in the heavens. I mean for you to be free. Harriet sees the North Star twinkling. My mind is made up. Tomorrow I flee. God wraps her in a blanket of night, and she returns to the cabinet, sleeps beside her husband for the last time. This is a picture of Harriet talking to God before she makes a decision. The next day, Harriet tells not a soul her plans. She grips an axe to chop wood, breathes deeply, and murmurs, Lord, I'm going to hold steady on you. And God whispers back in the breeze, I'm going to see you through, my child. This picture of Harriet chopping the wood and talking to God. At dusk, Harriet chants, when that old chariot comes, I'm going to leave you. She hopes her loved ones hear her song and know it means farewell. While the plantation sleeps, Harriet prays, Lord, send me a sign. An owl screeches. The owl has come. Harriet slips away into the night. Running through the swamp, she fears and hears frogs creaking and her own heart pounding. Lord, I can't make it alone. In the moon reflection on the creek, she sees God's face. Harriet, you dream that the saints save you, but mortals will give you refuge. The woman in the wagon who always spoke kindly to me, yes, Harriet, I must go to her. The woman points Harriet to a safe haven, hiding places for runaways, and Harriet steals away in the darkness. She goes away in the darkness into the night. She creeps through the woods, her heart flutters. Hush, hoofbeats, hoofbeats mean the men on horseback. Please, Lord, don't let them catch me. Take me back to face Master's whip. Don't let my journey end here. In the underbrush, Harriet sinks into the deep sleep. She cradles and sleep. When she wakes, the men on horseback has passed and day breaks. Thank you, Lord, for watching over me. Harriet sleeping in the woods as the men go by in their horses. In the clearing of safe haven, Harriet knows that most strangers would turn her in and not help her. But the farmer's wife feeds Harriet, then tells her to sweep the yard. I know I don't know who to trust, Lord. And the Lord says, search my face and theirs, for my hands and their work, what you in your hands. In dust, she sees a broom becomes a staff, then a rifle. Harriet startles but holds on. And God says, I will arm you against your enemies, but you will not harm a soul, and no harm will come to you. The dust settles as she stops sweeping, and all is as it was. At nightfall, Harriet climbs into the wagon, and the farmer covers her with blankets. As the wagon wobbles along, Harriet worries that it's heading to jail. Should I leap, Lord? And the Lord says, trust me to protect you, Cheryl. A heart song lulls her to sleep, sweet low, sweet chariot. The wagon stops at dawn. Harriet walks until her legs ache. Then she leans against a tree. Lord, I miss my folks. And the Lord says, Harriet, your father taught you to read the stars, predict the weather, gather wild berries, and make cures from roots. Use his lessons to be free. You will meet again. A mosquito buzzes in Harriet's ear. She rises and moves on. A boatman rows her upriver. Back on shore, hounds snarl, sniff, and growl for Harriet's trail. She races as fast as she can. Lord, I can outrun them. God speaks through babbling brooks. Shed your shoes. Wade in the water to trick the dogs. Upstream the barking ceases, and fears wash away. Thank you, Lord. Harriet's feet bleed and her gut churns. Under the stars, she draws near to God. Lord, don't let anybody turn me around. I'd rather die than be a slave. She recalls dreams where she fled like a bird and sank, was lifted by ladies in white who pulled her north. Fly, Harriet, your faith has wings. Up ahead, she fears that the patrollers are nabbing runaways and crouches for a day or so in a potato hole and dreams she's buried alive. Have you deserted me, Lord? And the Lord says, Harriet, when you were a girl, you hid in a pig pen to shun the whip. You fought hogs for table scraps and almost starved before you faced the lash. I am with you, as I was then. An older prayer comes back to her. Lord, make me strong. Help me fight. This is the potato patches in. After 7 days, Harry rises from the hole like a sapling, reaches for the sun as it touches God's hands. By moonlight, she marches on, making her way mile after rough mile, hiding haystacks, attics, barns, and holding God's hand all the while. She often wearies. How far, Lord? And the Lord says, as far as you can walk with me, my child, I can carry you. When Harry was about to drop, a couple of them in the wagon ride by. They say slavery is a sin, and they will take her on the last leg of her journey. And the Lord says, not far now, my child, not far now. In the promised land, Philadelphia, the sun shines gold in the trees, and hers feels light as a cloud. She studies her face and her toes to see if she has wings. Is this heaven, Lord? Not heaven, Harry, but freedom. But freedom brings woes. Lord, I am a stranger here. All my kin are down south. Would you like to set them free? As her dust, her family's faces appear in the wood grain. She wipes a tear from the table. I like to make my home for them here. I will give my own life to set them free. And Harry goes to church and finds not only holy ground, but a stopping place, a station along the Underground Railroad that slaves travel to freedom. Harry hands out shirts and shoes, serve butterbeans and biscuits to newly arrived runaways, while agents who plot escape paths pass as secret routes that she learns by heart. Finally, a conductor, a guide, she turns to God. I am ready, Lord, lead me. Harry, I'll make you a way for you. Thank you. This is the book called Moses, and I hope you enjoy reading this book. Thank you.
We would like to thank Mr. Kenyatta Livingston for the reading of Pete's Big Lunch. The theme of this book was about sharing with friends. This book is a perfect book for young readers. It is a I Can Read book, and Pete the Cat is also a series. By choosing series books, consider digital versions from your local library. You can increase your students' ability to make predictions and draw conclusions. We would also like to thank Mr. Howard Sharps for the reading of Moses, when Harriet Tubman led her people to freedom. This poetic book gave a tribute to a woman who is historically known as Moses, a leader, who was an original freedom fighter, willing to give her life for the rights of her people. This book is also a tribute to her life as it provided generations to follow a blueprint on the definition of courage, strength, and faith. The author, Carol Boston Weatherford, received the Caldecott Medal in 2007 for the writing of Moses. The Caldecott Medal is awarded to the artist of the most distinguished American picture book for children published in the United States during the preceding year. Again, we thank you for joining us this evening.
On behalf of the National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa Incorporated, Eastern Region Literacy Committee, we would like to thank you for joining us this evening for our special program entitled Dad Lights the Way with Reading for NSPDK. We truly hope that you and your children have enjoyed these stories that were shared this evening. Please join us tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. where we will continue to hear more great stories read by positive male role models. Be blessed, and we will see you all tomorrow.